All right. So, a couple of things first. Yes, it could have been was Link bitten by a radioactive skull teller, but I forgot. So mm, it wasn't. Oh, kind of forgot those existed. Uh, Second, I kind of ran out of time while editing this video. So if the visuals and even audio get a little rough, sorry. I'm recording this on the day of release. So um yeah, compared to my original vision, there are many holes in this video. So April Fools. Oh, blimey. How do I start this one? I actually don't know. I've got the script in front of me, but it doesn't feel right now it comes to say it. You know what? Sure. If things sound a little different, I'm trying to work on my voice. And I've also got a nasal strip on, which seems to be opening up my nostrils so I can breathe. So if I sound a little different, hopefully it sounds better, you know? Okay, sure. We've all had this thought. How the fuck is Link climbing that sheer surface? Marvel needs to sue someone. I mean, just look at him. Just look. But what if there was a little more reason to how he does this?
So you mean Marvel should sue?
Shut up, arsehole. We are in Hyrule, a weird fantasy slash sci-fi world.
Something we will whine about in the inevitable Breath of the Wild retrospective.
With ancient Sheikah technology being a convenient, if kinda...
Nah, it's straight up dumb and doesn't even match the law of the Sheikah. They are ninjas, for fuck's sake, not scientists. We mean, maybe, if it's the biological science, given ninjas probably spend a lot of time cutting people up, and the great Shadow Temple thing in Ocarina of Time definitely suggested a certain amount of cutting up.
Convenience slash contrivance? The Sheikah slate?
Sheikah Stone. In Japanese, it's literally called the Sheikah Stone. Stone is in English. Why just use Sheikah Stone? Why translate English into another word?
それはシーカーストーン。それはシーカーストーン。
Sorry about letting our inner weebo.
Is one phone call away from being a phablet. We have literal robots, mechs, airplanes.
Not trains though, even though we have seen that before, albeit in a probably different timeline and probably different reality altogether. But that would have been a fun and immersive form of fast travel instead of teleporting.
Lightsabers, and even a cyborg. Oh, what? You think this isn't a lazy, contrived catch-all for we want an excuse that isn't magic in this fantasy world of dragons, spells, and flying fucking humanoids to do whatever we fucking want? And that in modern media, technology isn't just another word for magic, letting creators do as they please without regard for logic,
Development or
fucking
fucking
creativity. Oh, where'd that come from?
We hope you're looking forward to our Insomniac Spider-Man retrospectives. We adore the games, but that tech is so unimmersive.
Did you ever watch CW's The Flash?
I am the Flash.
Do you remember Dwarf Star Alloy? Did you have any idea what that actually was? And did it appear in almost every episode to do just whatever they needed? And tachyons before that. Yeah, that. Or psychic powers in Metroid Prime 4. Was that just the same normal equipment, but with psychic slapped on the cover? Yep, that. And rule of three. Fucking any Spider-Man cartoon after Spectacular Spider-Man just throwing science onto a problem as an instant cure-all. We hate that. We really fucking hate that. In Breath of the Wild, ancient Skika technology. Oops, typo. In Breath of the Wild, ancient Sheikah technology is literally woven into clothes to explain what should have been magic, simple skilled workmanship, or even just a psychological bonus. Oh, and this ancient traditional ninja clan's advanced technology even uncovers the secret of immortality under the guise of lol I be archetype. Much fun, great cute. Not at all weird.
We had the awkward displeasure of witnessing our non-weeb, sometimes judgmental brother meeting Pura for the first time. He is not an anime fan. She was super weird to him. And also, yes, we're getting distracted. Good thing this is an April 1st video, or else we might have to edit this out. Lol. But we're about to get into the main point, so thanks for sticking. Oh, shit! We made a pun! We don't like this! It wasn't deliberate!
Pura literally transformed her body to not only shrink in size, but to actually become younger. Oh fuck, I needed to research this, didn't I? Fuck. Plus, in her diary, she even records that her mind and emotions are changing accordingly. Pura is still over 100 years old. She still has her knowledge and experience and intellect trained over those decades. But her odd behavior isn't just because she's eccentric, but because she's youthful again. And in my mind, that is a far more drastic change than becoming a sticky boy.
Did we have to say that in internet, V? We also say papa, which pisses us off to no end.
So we know that Breath of the Wild Hyrule had access to this technology that could even affect genetics, that it can cause drastic changes in Hylian morphology.
Yeah, so Vivian didn't even go into how aging is a chromosome thing, with telomeres on the end of a chromosome slowly shortening a bit, which seems to, if not cause aging, then to at least correlate with it. So Pura is literally regenerating chromosomes that had degraded over time. Actually, as we record this, we kind of had a thought. So many of these Sheikah are ancient, over 100 years old. Could they just genetically have longer telomeres? Or maybe their telomeres just degrade slower? That's kind of an interesting genetic thing.
But with a bit of extra detail. And we know that Pura and probably Zelda and the others were experimenting with absolutely anything to give them an edge over Ganon.
Which resulted in Zelda's abuse growing up. But that's also for the perspective. No matter how much we want to get into it right now, just, we suppose, we'll add, do you remember Elf from Frozen? Yeah, Zelda's situation is shockingly similar, although kind of in reverse.
And we know that various animals, monsters, and flora in Hyrule have demonstrable effects when ingested.
ほら見てくださいこれ珍味で有名な食用種ですが最近の研究で人の能力を向上させることが分かってきたんです今城の者たちを対象に効能を詳しく調べているのですけれど 類まれな身体能力を誇るあなたにもぜひこの研究調査に協力してもらいたいのです。
Honestly, it would be odd for Hylian or Sheikah experiments on the local fauna.
Wait, are monsters fauna? Yeah, they have to be fauna, don't they?
To not be fact. We know that monsters exist between the cycles of Ganon's return. If not because of that one memory, then because it's repeatedly mentioned elsewhere. Plus, Gohma and Tektites might not even be manifestations of Ganon's malice, given that they don't show up in the game.
Yeah, isn't that odd though, V? If they aren't in the game, then do they even exist in this obviously new world?
Okay, yeah, we can't know for sure, but maybe they did once exist and were experimented on long before Purah and the others started their own research, basically from scratch. Maybe they went extinct in the last 10,000 years. But after the Sheikah Ninja Assassin Science Bros had created the Guardian tech, Link would have been bitten by one that had been experimented on with whatever powers the Guardians.
Like, seriously, what do they run on? Cause? Cause of what? Magic?
And then frozen in cryostasis, or
Or maybe they were preserved in the Shrine of Resurrection, maybe.
8? You are fucking insane, and that may be just the perfect explanation.
Seriously, dude? We was being a dick.
No, seriously. Link had the backing of the champion, the Master Sword, and probably any soldiers and civilians who survived Ganon's initial assault. And he still lost horribly. But after waking up, he needs none of that and can charge straight into the final fight against Ganon and the Four Blights.
If you're a speedrunner, we don't want to try that.
I kinda do, just to see how bad I get my ass handed to me. Anyway, 8. What if you're right, and there was a
Magically active? No, that sounds dumb.
radioactive Gohma asleep in the shrine that stirred when Link was placed in there and bit him with a sleepy defensive instinct? Link gained superpowers that more than level the playing field against Ganon. And it fits nicely into the whole ancient magic / technology that Link loves so much. Anyway, let's actually get onto the powers being displayed. This incarnation of Link is tough. And I'm not talking about the hits he can take. That's just a game mechanic that's consistent in the series.
Well, up until Breath of the Wild, actually. We really want to talk about how shit the HP system is in this game, but that's saved with us for the retrospective.
Or how much he can run. But instead, this. That should have tore Link's arms straight from their sockets and left him crumpled on the ground. But Link doesn't even lose a single heart.
Or 10, given how this game...
Fuck off, eh?
Ooh, sorry.
Link does take damage while ragdolling down a hill, and maybe it's his heart containers that tank the damage to stop his bones from breaking. But this fall? Yikes! We'll come back to his strength in a second, but I want to hop over Link's bizarre ability to adhere to surfaces. Let's address his few weaknesses. Link can't climb at 100% in a raid. Nor can he climb ice. Nor, for some reason, what the shrines are made out of. This isn't a problem for my hypothesis, though, as I'm not claiming that Link and Peter Parker share the exact same abilities.
Yeah, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. the base form of spider-based superpowers. Not only is it a waste of time looking at all spider-themed power sets, but we are personally more familiar with Peter Parker's abilities.
Additionally, PP himself... I wish I hadn't done that. Additionally, Peter himself has some weaknesses in this area. There are a number of substances that he struggles to stick to, something that, frankly, villains take advantage of. But even water has been known to not make him slip, but to weaken his adhesion. And heck, look at Spider-Man 3, the movie game.
Specifically the PlayStation 2 version, which actually provides an explanation for this changing mechanism.
Where the lizard had coated the sewers in something that only can Pete not stick to, but webbing won't either.
Yuck! These walls are covered in slime. I don't think I'll be able to climb them. Not even sure I'd want to.
Clearly, Link's sticky little fingers are less potent, but he's still capable of inhuman feats of climbing. Okay, so we've covered Link's physical durability, tip to toe into his physical, and deviated back to the point that started this whole nonsense. Let's return to fully submerge our feet into that strength thing with a little focus on his reflexes. Can do this? Only if your name's Chris and you're trying to impress a lady named Sheva.
Or just possibly Albert? There's a freak out there who ships that.
Given the slow wind-up and clumsy movements while Link is swinging the sword, maybe it's feasible for a fantasy to...
Link!
No! Bad boy! But these Goron weapons? No. Just no. And as a player who barely has to twitch a finger to reflect a laser beam with a pot lid, this feat doesn't seem like much.
So we say.
But put yourself into Link's boots, sandals, pumps for a second. Laser beam. Light amplification
By
stimulated emission of radiation beam. You know, spelling out the acronym wasn't as impactful as I had thought Googling it, but 8 won't let me delete it. The reaction speed required for this, alongside the sheer strength and dexterity to deflect it back into the eye of a guardian? That's like punching a bullet back into the barrel it was shot from, but way harder because it's a laser and you just have a pot lid you picked up back at Kakariko. That's a reaction speed that borders on precognition. It needs raw power to knock back a blast that the grown twig. Link, damn it! For lying.
Link. Link. ごめんなさい。
And the motor skills and processing speed.
Can I?
I expect you to.
Or sixth spider-like sense.
To aim it with pinpoint accuracy while literally under fire? Whew. Let's look a little more at this potential spider sense. Noisy fucking motorbikes. The spider sense isn't always strictly dangerous, and there can also be ways around it. But we can typically assume that if it isn't magically precognitioned, then it's instead Peter absorbing huge amounts of stimuli from his surroundings and processing it in a subconscious part of his brain. The reason why it tends to act as a danger sense could well just be his preservation instincts bringing his attention towards threats. This might be why Link can relatively easily pick out threats like camouflaged Lizalfos, Korok locations that are no more than a suspicious stone, or identify Babby Talos Peblets lying in wait. And yes, they're called Peblets, and that is fucking adorable. It's why deflecting lasers is probably more instinct than intent. Why time can appear to slow down when Link pulls out a bow while plummeting to his death. Or why a split-second dodge gives him ample time to...
Wait, that's not right.
Sure it is. Pete's mentioned before that his spider sense and reactions are so fast that he has time to think up his jokes on the fly.
That's not the same thing, though. PT's speed is constant, and we just said that his body acts on his own. Link, meanwhile, is clear in full control.
Look, 8. It doesn't have to be a perfect parallel to Pete's powers. Even two people bitten by the same bloody spider will have different powers. What's important is that when Link dodges a split second before impact, time slows down. Huh. Oh. Link wasn't bitten by a radioactive Gohma?
Link was trained as an Umbran witch.
No. Do they take men?
That might explain why his powers don't match exactly, but he is witch time. He has moonwalk. Wait, V, you remember Jeanne in the first game?
Yeah?
Her eyelashes? Exactly the same as the Great Fairies. And both have forms of clothes magic.
Where is the witch's medium? But could rupees, various items, or ancient technology? Were the Umbran witches trained by fairies?
Wait, so where does his post-snap power-up come from? Bayonetta didn't get one, and her situation was basically the same.
April Fools. Okay. Thanks for watching, I guess. I haven't scripted this ending, so I might ramble a little bit. Yeah, I've never really been somebody who's bothered with April 1st stuff. Probably because I was always a gullible little autistic kid. And somehow my jokes never worked. I mean, I always thought they were funny. But people always seem to look at me like a fucking idiot. And oh well. But when I did start this channel, I thought it might be fun to do a few April Fool's things, put in some effort, and have some fun doing something that's not serious. I missed my chance last year, and after my original idea was, well, it was kind of arguing that Zelda, the world, Hyrule, whatever the planet would be called, takes place in Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. I think I have a relatively fun, yet somewhat solid plan for that. But it's gonna take a bunch of research, both playing the games to find evidence and footage, but I'm probably gonna have to scour the Coppermind wiki for little bits of detail to make things fit better. So that wasn't something I could do this year, because I had no footage of Zelda and hadn't played the games in a while. It probably won't happen next year either, which is kind of depressing to say, but it's just a case of getting a chance to play the games again and get the evidence. So yeah, for this video, I think I came up with some pretty interesting points that are like semi-convincing. None of it's meant to be taken seriously, naturally. And what the fuck would even a radioactive Gohma be? I mean, there's certain things like Link canonically has described to Daruk that time sometimes feels like it slows down for him, so that was the case even before waking up. That fucking ending though. Part of me is dissatisfied with it because it's utter nonsense, but that was the point, so I'm not quite sure where the balance is supposed to be.
So I would genuinely appreciate any kind of constructive criticism on that ending at least. But that was fun. And I think it was inspired almost entirely by John's eyelashes. Yeah, I didn't even consider writing a story for this one. Honestly, I'm too overwhelmed by personal stuff and by my slow progress with my channel to-do list, which has been going kind of slow for a number of reasons. Naturally, I did come up with a few ideas while playing, such as, so I kind of liked the idea of a character, small isolated village surrounded by mountains, climbing one along one of the dragon's paths and just kind of admire it. And that happens so often, the dragon takes notice of them. It's not like they have a chat or a developing romance or anything, but more of an acknowledgement. Moving on. Yeah, I have 3 more games on my list to cover, all 3 of which I'd hoped to have done already. There's the American McGee's Alice duology. I wanted the original to be the first game I ever did on this channel, but technical issues meant I just couldn't fucking play it. So that never happened. But now I've got it sorted, and I am so keen to... Oh, I can't wait to get the something. I can't wait to get started on the script. I'm looking forward to that. And naturally, I'm going to follow it up with its sequel because there's just one, and they go together nice enough. And then I really want to get back to Stranger's My Big Sister World with Ashina, the Red Witch, which I'm really interested in. And if Ashina's going to expand more on the story of my big sister, I'm honestly getting really impatient to get around to it. Plus, Stranger said he would answer more questions, and I kind of feel like I'm keeping him waiting. Yeah, I think I might, around the time of my big sister, I might have planned too many videos in advance, which has kind of restricted my freedom, which has affected my motivation. And despite that, I did manage to end up getting repeatedly distracted. So, But yeah, do me a solid and drop a comment on this video. We can chat about this silly little idea or whatever, just because I think it'd be fun. I'm not going to say the usual YouTuber shit, because I'm fucking fed up of hearing it. If you liked it, you will press like. If I piss you off, you're probably going to comment. I don't want to be saying the same fucking 3 things every video. But I do like to encourage conversation, so asking you to comment will be a repeated thing. Yeah, nobody's watched my solo leveling video, but I mean, I get that. You skim through it and you're like, what the fuck is with this? And then you stop. You don't watch it. And I get that. I got kind of burnt out by the video and the copyright stuff, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do something really stupid just to get it up. And I think that's putting people off, so literally nobody's watched it. I think it's actually a good video from terms of a script. I'm pretty proud of it. So if you treated it like a podcast, people might be more willing to watch it. So I'd appreciate anybody going from this video popping over to that one. And I am planning on re-uploading it at some point with proper anti-copyright measures. But that's going to take a while because I don't want to go back to it yet. Plain and simple. Yeah. I'm going to cut a lot of this out because it's too long, but whatever. Ciao.
Oh.